Okay, so World of Tanks announced 2 weeks ago a new feature called Modern Armor, which means that they're going to have modern vehicles in World of Tanks, which is going to be starting with the console version. Now, we know that they've been wanting to do this for a long time, and they probably had everything developed a long time ago. Now, guess what I had done, which is March 2nd, which is a month and a half earlier, that is related to this. We all knew that they want to do Modern Armor, but the problem is if they make it a separate game, it competes with World of Tanks, which means they're going to lose players, and it's going to have a rough starting point. And number two, you can't have the Tier 10 and the Tier 11 players matched against each other because it's not going to be fair. So I made a post, and I had this idea. It was March 2nd. I said, oh, I figured out how to do the Modern Armor. You make it Tier 11. However, the difference is you make Tier 11 like Tier 1. That's how you get around it. Because the new players want to play Tier 10. Now, a new player can play it because it's just like Tier 1, where you get 0 XP to research those tanks. And the Tier 11 players don't play against the Tier 10 players. So when Wargaming announced the Modern Armor, which was, like I said, a month and a half later, one of the things they said, I looked through a bunch of news reports. I couldn't find where they said it. But one of the things that they said is exactly what I said. The Tier 10 and the Tier 11 don't play against each other, which is what we all assumed over the years. But the key difference is that everybody would get to play. You wouldn't have to research through all 10 tiers to get to the Modern Armor. And that's the key difference. And when I came up with this idea, I said that's going to guarantee that they can release it to the game and it will succeed because now everybody can do it. It makes everybody happy. And you know what? The tier 10 players are still going to complain. They don't want to play against noobs, but it's going to be a different experience. And I think it's really going to work out. And it shows you, I don't know if they decided to launch it because of my idea, but it shows you that often I make a suggestion in the forums, have tons of suggestions that made it into the game. And this is one of the key ones. And eventually this feature, they're doing it in console first. It's a different developing team. Eventually it's going to make it to World of Tanks, and you're probably going to be able to play it possibly even this year. Okay, if you have any questions or comments, please post below.